Based on data I have collected from my platforms, ladies and gentlemen, it's apparent that this year's elections in Ghana is not about the NDC and the NPP. This year's elections are in two folds. First is about Ghana versus the New Patriotic Party, and this is coming from a guy who campaigned and voted for Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo in 2016 and in 20. But I repeat, the first phase of the contest is between the people of Ghana and the ruling government. And when I look at the agitation within the country, ladies and gentlemen, it's beginning to feel like how the atmosphere was in 2016, for those who can see. Do you remember how people couldn't wait to cast their ballots before the 7th of December in 2016? Well, it's beginning to feel same this year. Doomsday had frustrated people's lives to an unbearable point where they couldn't wait to vote anymore. But what's worse for this government is that it's more of cases of unfulfilled promises, higher cost of living, and a greater sense of corruption than what was ascribed to the NDC in 2016. In addition to that is the menace of Galamsey, which will cost this government a whole lot. Social media is going to hurt this government the most. This is the era of easy information movement. TikTok alone has single-handedly exposed many things that most people would have never heard of or seen because traditional media wouldn't have never brought it up. TikTok has happened, ladies and gentlemen, and now people are engaging from all walks of life, from everywhere in the world. Something the PPP didn't have at their disposal at that time. The second phase of the contest in Ghana in this year is between the NDC and the new force. Now I say this because of the sheer number of people who fall in my category. I mean the people who are falling off the NPP bandwagon. It's a scary time for the people in leadership in the NPP. Lots of their voters in 2016 and 2020 have left them entirely. Even students who participated in the free SHS have joined that movement. They risk losing power and being replaced by the new force in the next 8 years, ladies and gentlemen. And I find it extremely funny when you see their people tickle themselves and laugh. I monitored this and predicted in 2016 against the NDC, and now it's going to repeat itself in a fatal way against the New Patriotic Party. Let me show you how I came to this conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, with this analysis. Let's do this analysis together. Both the NDC and the NPP have just about 1 million people who are registered party card bearers or delegates who actually pay dues. And so both have 1 million each in their bank who will vote for them on those party lines. We get that. Secondly, they equally have about 2 million votes each from people in their strongholds who will also vote for them no matter the country's economic situation. We also get that. Now, that puts them at 3 million each together, making 6 million voters. However, ladies and gentlemen, the total number of voters in Ghana is estimated over 17 million people. So let's do the math again. 3 million from the NPP, 3 million from the NDC combines for what? 6 million, leaving 11 million people outstanding. It is out of these 11 million people that the two main political parties and the rest of the parties are going to be digging from. Now, guess what the majority of these people within the 11 million, according to the Global Info Analytics, come from in terms of regions? They come from Greater Accra region, the Western region, and the most obvious, the Central region. Now, ask yourself this question. How strong is the NPP today in Accra? And be real with your answer. The truth is, not really. How strong is the NDC in Accra today? And be straightforward with your answer. And the answer is pretty good. But how strong is the rest of the independent candidates in Accra today? And I'll say this to you in response. Nana Kwame Bediako is super popular, especially among the youth and social media users. Now let's do same for the central and the western regions on the popularities of the two parties and the rest of the other parties. Now, last 4 years when we had elections in this country, ladies and gentlemen, the number of people who had voted for the ruling party had been cut down in half from the numbers who voted for them in 2016. The people in the central region are still waiting for the promise of a shipping harbor and an airport as promised them by the flag bearer of the ruling government. So, in all honesty, tell me this: what do you expect from the central region when they have not seen the promises fulfilled? This is what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. NDC, NPP will get their traditional votes as usual. But don't be surprised to see the new force take more than 1 million votes in the first round alone. These are votes expected from the 5 major regions: Greater Accra, Central Region, Western, Eastern, and Ashanti region. These are my projections based on feedbacks from my social media platforms alone. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this year's elections in Ghana will be the first time we put the influence of social media in our country to test. We are putting it to test on how instrumental it can be when it comes to reaching people and influencing people's voting pattern. In 2007 was when America first had its first share of experience of social media impact on elections when Barack Obama went live on Facebook. Nigeria tried it with Peter Obi in last year's election, which did a lot of damage to the incumbent government but couldn't secure a win for that party. And South Africa's Democratic Alliance won a position in their unity government through their campaign effort on social media, for your information. So it's a new era of possibilities with what social media can do if used rightly, and Ghana is at that point now. Now, the 11 million floating voters pool comes with a caveat, as in how many of these 11 million are social media users and what's going to be the voting direction of the new voters in this year's elections. Ladies and gentlemen, if you underestimate social media, you do it at your own peril, because things that usually happen in the West finds its way to occur here. Plus, the era of traditional media will sooner than later be irrelevant in our politics. Mark my words. And so, based on this analysis, I repeat, this year's contest is between Ghana and the NPP, and then the NDC against the new force. Tell me how you see it, and be sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell for more of my videos. Thanks for taking time to watch today's episode. I'll come your way again very soon with another one. It's bye for now.